Hi, my name is Joseph Fioramonti. I am one of the founders at Constellations, and I wanted to make a short video about how we're putting together our test on what does intelligence look like. This is the first time that we will be doing multi-tiered testing. We're going to start with icons for ideas that we have sourced from an AI expert's audience. His name is Jake Van Cleef, and he has a pretty big following, and we asked his audiences, what images, what kinds of things do you think represent this idea of intelligence? And so we've picked the 36 kind of best recommendations and put them into three categories. And so for step one, what we're going to do is enter them as black and white icons, very minimal. If we were looking at like the Pierce semiotics model for anybody who's into semiotics, these would be icons, very minimal, just vague resemblance, clear resemblance to the objects that they represent. And once we have the results of that test, we will have three objects that we want to test based on those results in a richer, again, in a Pierce model, semiotic, symbolic system. So these are highly aestheticized images that give us a much richer understanding of not only what objects do people associate with this concept of intelligence, but what kind of typographic treatments, colors, textures, these combinations of design elements, and what do these things say about intelligence and the way that people think about it. So let me share my screen. And so I've opened up a new Constellations, and I'm going to call this intelligence, and I'm going to leave that. So I'm going to click create for my first board. I'm going to leave the number of dots as 3, and my keyword is going to be intelligence. And I'm going to switch my template here. I want to keep this clean and even. I don't want to sway or put too much emphasis on any given swatch. I'd like them to display pretty evenly. And so I'm going to go ahead and click add, and it will open up my library. And you can see I already have my icons drag and drop in here. So I have 36 total black and white images that I have generated using Midjourney. And so I put the concepts into Midjourney, told Midjourney, please keep them black and white, super flat, super simple. So I'm going to load up the first 12 for the first part. And for that, the prompt was for objects. So there's some overlap here. I could argue that a sphinx is kind of an object in contemporary culture, but it is still kind of a mythical creature. So that's one of our categories as well. It's like mythological or symbolic. Let's start with objects and go ahead and get those added. So my first board is created. So typical objects, and again, these were all recommended by Jake's audience. My personal favorites, chess piece, really like the glasses from the Rubik's Cubes. Somebody brought up in the 80s. It's a fun one. So that is our objects category, and we want to isolate these and make people choose between like objects. I didn't want to mix all of the objects across a bunch of boards because there's some things that just stand out more than others, and I wanted to make people choose between categories and not choose categories, if that makes sense. Just get back here and change this to objects. So I'm going ahead, and the next one will be symbols. So intelligence will still be the keyword. Let me go ahead and change my template and start to add these animals and mythological creatures next. So I don't think this is my symbols category. I think this is my mythological category, so I'll change that. So I change this to beings. That is our second board, one to go. And so this is our symbolic category. So I'll just change this to symbols. And again, the same keyword, intelligence. There's a little overlap here. Some of them are more abstract symbols. Some of them are kind of objects like the mirror, the mountains, but still highly symbolic. But it should be enough to give us a really good understanding and fun idea of where people fall for this concept of intelligence. What objects kind of represent that? So that is the completed test. I'm going to go ahead and hit publish, and we will start sharing this and get everybody's feedback. And then again, next steps will be to take the results of this test and then find different ways of highly aestheticizing these objects. We will collect found images of, let's just suppose a key is one of the winners, right? We'll find modern keys, technological keys. We will find images of very romanticized paintings of keys, 3D diagrams of keys, things of that nature, mixed in with the other two objects and a lot of versions of each of them highly aestheticized, and then see what people weigh in on and see which object not only wins, but also what kinds of treatments win, what kind of patterns we see in terms of aesthetics that mean intelligence to a broad audience.
Click the link in the description to take the test and visit our website constellations.app to see the results.